Are being leashed or unleashed if someone so chooses as we prepare to move into the laning phase.
Yeah, we're looking at a really good game here between League and staff, and these League members are hungry and ready for another season of SDL, as you just pitched to everyone in the YouTube video. But they need to really show up here for the staff members and show them what they're really made of.
Absolutely, and as we see here, nothing too big going on. A couple skirmishes over on the solo side, but so far just some big exchanges. Seems like obviously we're going to have a bit of clear wars going here, and with the Kuzan Bow and the Vamana, the clear is going to be a bit more difficult, I'd imagine, compared to the Kronos and the Khepri. Going to be a bit more of a risky engage, though, for the Kuzan Bow. Quick blink, tries to sumo him, push him back into the Vamana, and an instant death. That was a very beautiful blink. It seemed like it might have gone wrong at first. A bit of a hustle there to try to get around him, but he managed to push him back in, get the damage off, and secure the first blood.
Yeah, don't laugh at Kuzan If you're in your ranked games right now, don't laugh at the Kuzan That Kappa and that push can do massive amounts of damage, especially if you push him through the minions. And now the Khepri KingFsher in a little bit of danger as well, but he might be able to run out.
Seeing the drift on this man, he's Tokyo drift. Like the 180s he's pulling are just insane. Like the turn radius is genuinely incredibly scary. He can really get you quite a good distance. Even if you think he starts the push, you know, facing into your tower, he can quickly turn you around. But as we see here, someone else getting turned around as the Tsukiyomi going to take out all power, trying to get back to his tower line with every desperate means he could manage, but unfortunately not able to. That secures a second kill for League. It is not tale as old as time, I don't want to say, but it's a tale as old as time. It's starting out.
Yeah, there's a couple of gods. There's a couple of gods in the solo lane that once they hit level 3, you just turn tail and run. And one of those is Tsukiyomi, but also this. Oh, the Giannis dropping the Kuzan through the ground, but also does not.
He just saved his friend, or did he?
It did.
That was an impressive portal, making sure that the sumo push did not get our friend Weeb stuck into the tower and secure a third kill for League. But man, what a great response to that gank, just instantly turning it on his head and making it far more dangerous for the gankers than the ganked.
Yeah, the side lanes doing very well right now for, I mean, both teams obviously are doing their best, but the League really showing up on this solo lane and dual lane right now. And here comes a Humban's gank coming right into this dual lane saying, well, you just might have done that, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can get a kill.
And it looks like they're not quite aware of it. They're still pushing up a little bit. Oh no, and already the movement speed ability has been activated, allowing Moonboss to go in without fear of him being able to really dash out too easily. A lot of damage being put on, but it's looking like with that beautiful Khepri root, they're going to be able to get away pretty safely. But Naja, lurking in the back, knows that now that they've expended a few abilities, some cooldowns, but it seems like they're not going to quite engage right now.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to go ahead and back out. And Neja doing the exactly correct thing here, which is pulling that buff all the way down to his dual lane, excuse me.
Important to realize that you can leash things very far from the original position. It's going to be something that a lot of players are going to have to get used to, but can be used for strategic maneuvers like that. Able to allow your carry to not have to go too far to position, not put themselves in too much danger, while allowing them to also get the XP and, of course, that buff. And with here, getting a bit more farm.
Yeah, a lot more farm going to need to be going on here. Tiamat and the mid lane not really doing too much, but once again, I mean, the junglers have hit both lanes, it feels like, already at this point, but it's mainly been the dual lane where all the action's been. They really don't like Market on Kronos, it seems. They really want him off of it.
You know what I'm seeing right now, just speaking of the junglers, I'm seeing an interesting difference in builds already. The starter items for the jungle has been a very interesting thing coming into Season 10, but we see the Humbots has picked up the Bluestone Pendant, which has been known to be incredible for the clear, especially the massive clears that you see where people leash together 3 or 4 different camps together. It can be really useful for that, whereas Naja decided to go with the Bumba Spear, so it's an interesting difference there. We're going to have to see how that affects both of these jungles' farm as we get into the later game.
Neja putting himself into a very rough position, but able to just go ahead and walk out of this. But yes, Bluestone Pendant is very strong. I think the more Bluestones that you have on your team right now, the more opportunity you might have to win might be actually the real statement about this, because they are very strong. And if you have 4 or 5 people almost with it, it feels like it's almost unkillable. It's like stacking Mystical Mail.
Exactly. iNooblet realizing they're in trouble, they're going to back right out, and Tiamat ult expended, trying to catch something there, but not going to quite do it. And it seems like, in general, staff managing to rein things in a little bit, trying to avoid getting decimated any further. But all as I say that, a bit of damage coming in on the left side. We see Market retreating out. Bunny hopping away. He's going to do just on fine.
Yeah, this Vamana, that's what he has to do. Just keep poking at Maka, just keep kind of getting him. And Neja sees this happening and is going to say, maybe I can stop this. Gets him, Big Baby going to come out, slam him on the ground. Giannis going to use his big old ultimate to try to get over there and help out his teammate.
Unfortunately, that didn't go quite as well as it could have. I mean, a couple missed abilities on Market, but overall, the idea was there, just not quite executed as well as it could have been. Some abilities expended that might not have just been necessary. The Giannis ult not really doing much there. It didn't result in any big rotations, just kind of a bit of a whiff. Especially when already in Big Baby form, not really going to be doing much there. But we see the Kuzumbo ult expended. Oh, Watery Grave going to do quite some damage, but the Threshold provided perfectly to ensure that their teammate could get right on out of there. Just a lot of narrow misses here. You know, there's some danger present, but nothing too big going on. But an invade is going to secure a bit more extra gold in favor of the league side. And a good attempt there by Maka to try to take it back, but nothing coming quite.
That would have been crazy if Maka would have just gotten the purple off of that. I mean, last time they liked that purple. I'm telling you, Maka is not the attention. And Lancelot going to use his ultimate here and try to kill the no mana Tsukiyomi. He might be able to get it out here. Oh, yes,
Ooh,
he
beautiful.
does.
A poke in the rear, just just to let him know that he's still there. That was really well done, honestly. Powa's been doing a good job since that first death, doing a good job playing back, making sure to let Troll make some mistakes instead of making the mistakes himself. It's honestly smart to do. When you're playing against more experienced players, it's best to let them kind of tire themselves out, throw themselves against the tower a little bit, and wait until they futz it up. And he futzed it up, took advantage of that. That was beautiful play by Powa.
Yeah, Power really representing the staff right here, right now. I feel proud to be a staff member of SDL.
Me as well.
Thanks to Power right there doing that. That made me feel strong. It's like when your country is in war or something like that. That felt like my country was in war. Now Weeb's in war, trying to get this Tiamat.
This is the World Cup right now, and I feel like I'm Argentinian. But
Yeah,
as you see here,
of
big
course.
fight going on. Ooh, misaligned dash there. The Naja ult does not connect, but the Tiamat ult does. Not going to do too much. Going to knock up the Khepri there, and it seems like we're going to once again get away with no deaths. But on the right side, wait, what? No, Power! We believed in you. Oh no! And the monkey raising his staff into victory. But wait, what? KingFsher going to pick up a kill back in mid lane? He's buddy hopping around too. All right, sweet. I guess we have a little 1-for-1 trade there. One going down in the mid lane, but you don't really want to see that gold going to the support. Bit unfortunate that KingFsher picked up the kill rather than iNooblet.
Yeah, KingFsher. I mean, he's probably pretty happy in the comms right now, saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm here. I'm a Khepri and I'm here. I'm not just an ult bot. I'm doing damage." But once again, this purple buff is about to come up in like maybe 20 to 30 seconds, and Market was like, "Oh, big
Oh,
ultimate."
all right, he doesn't ult right back into it, but it looks like his team is gonna get it. Yeah, Weeb not gonna be able to do that. Oh, that's rough. We've since 1998, dies in 2023, and it looks like big Root gonna try to save Maka there, but Maka's still in trouble. That Vamana wants him. He's turning big. He's slamming it down. They're all going in on him, but a brilliant Khepri ult. They neglected to pay attention to the fact that Khepri was backing off as he should to make sure he had appropriate range, that once the ult did get him back, he was safely out of range. Beautiful play there. Honestly, KingFsher's been playing some really good support plays. I'm really happy to see that the ult just actually being played perfectly, getting him away from the team, and also getting the res off.
Did you see how long that ult revived him to? Wow, iNooblet, absolutely great unstable vortex there, man.
Oh, bruh. All right. Oh, Gold Fury being started at 8 minutes. Okay, interesting. And it is a bit necessary. I mean, we're down by 2,000 gold. Not awful, but if this pickup can be made here, they're brilliant. But it seems like they're privy to what's going on here. Tornado being popped up over the wall. And it seems like, Power trying to zone here, but they've already discovered it's a bit too late. Watery Grave going to send him down to his Watery Grave, perhaps. KingFsher barely able to escape, but the mana's coming. It's done. It's a done deal there. KingFsher going to be picked up, and the Gold Fairy picked up for who? Who picked it up?
SDL staff, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so honestly, then, not a bad trade. We'll take that. A support for a Gold Fury this early, not too shabby. But the gold lead is going to remain, sadly, in favor of, and going to be lengthened, in fact, by the league team there with the fall of that first tower and an invade on the buff.
Yeah, Sukumi never made that rotation, which means he was able to just easily go ahead and take that tower on the right-hand side of the map. Troll Academy just out here. He's out here being by himself in the soul lane, really making that soul lane his lane.
Yeah, and as we just saw there with the stats being pulled up, the difference is in gold and XP. Not negligible, but also not going to, set anything in stone here. So honestly, the staff team putting up a pretty solid fight, I'd say. They definitely got some wiggle room here to bring things back. As you see here, dancing in the solo lane, everything's being pretty peachy right now, but I've been really liking the aggressive play from this King of Darkness here. It's been fun to see Kuzumbo just kind of wrecking havoc.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the early game, get that one push like he did in that first or second wave on Market, and you get a kill. That's easy. easy for a Kuzumbo.
That's the
And
Kuzumbo way.
yeah, that is the Kuzumbo way. And now everyone's kind of just going to start jumping around to each other. It looks like we got Mocket jumping in the other lane, but now
This
no
is
one's
dangerous.
jumping.
This is dangerous. A rotation from Solo, but Power doesn't seem to realize what's going on. His team is being left woefully understaffed. Oh no, some big old dropped. We have the Fear No Evil, but the Res is going to be successful. Dashes out to try to get him out, but the Lancelot oh, that is rough. Wait, not the Lancelot ult, sorry. Lancelot just arriving in. He might ult now, but he's getting destroyed too. Oh no, he realizes way too late. His team's done. He's got to get the hell out of there. And he does. Managing to charge out on that horse, galloping away. But I don't think, does Power, not Power, sorry. Does iNooblet realize that what's been going on here? Because he's pushed up a little bit too far. He's back on up there. He's realized the team must return to the lane. Unfortunate fight there picked by the staff team without realizing that their solo had not rotated over. That was just a bit of lack of awareness there. I think Power needed to get over a bit sooner to make sure that fight was landed in favor of his team, but just didn't come down that way.
Yeah, that's called a jump bait. Akamaru was over there just jumping. You know, oh, we're having fun. We're having fun. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Here comes four of my teammates and just destroys the staff within 2 people going down very quickly. And no chance. I mean, Giannis ult, I believe, did come in, but it was not able to save anyone,
It did
sadly.
some damage.
So it did do
no,
some
not
damage,
enough.
but yeah, not enough.
Not enough. Honestly, at that point, they really should have just disengaged. They should have realized the fight was turning against them, but they wanted to stay, they wanted to scrap, and they caught the hands for it. Definitely unfortunate. We're seeing.
Speaking of hands.
This man's a bully, yo. This man is just a bully. Look at him throwing out his little turtle minions. That's crazy. He's walking around that jungle like it's his own. Honestly, there's been a lot of buff invades on the part of League. I mean, they have the advantage. They know they can press it. It's a smart thing to do, but man, it's rough to see as a fellow staff member. And see, again on the other side, we see Mana coming here. But Rocket gonna try to pin him down. Oh, Ribbon going down. Oh, nice beads. Just gonna get that situation. He's decided to turn on Mocket. He beads, but not to escape, to just blade on the smackdown further as he does so. And they're both on full retreat. That's a big baby right there. I don't blame him.
If I were staff, I would feel very threatened right now by Flippin' Ninja. Okay, I mean, he saw 2 people with that purple buff and said, all right, like, I'll take that fight.
He like walked up like it was his own buff. Oh no,
Yeah.
big 3-person push here in the mid lane here. Tornado drop down. Going to be okay, it seems, here for our friend KingFsher, but we got some low people. They got to be very, very careful here. And it seems like iNooblet's heard me. He's going to be retreating. Smart move here. We don't really need to be pushing that. They're going to be backing off on that siege for a little bit.
Yeah, ultimate being down on iNooblet as well is just not the best situation to be in when you're Giannis. You have 1 teleport, but I mean, Weeb says, maybe I can still take this fight. Maybe I can still get some picks from this. But no, we still got 3 people on this left side of the jungle ready to fight a Nejad at any time.
And speaking of the side of the jungle, we see this Gold Fury being looked at a little bit, but they're going to ignore it in lieu of the Mocket right now. But it seems like Mocket should be okay. Sumoed into the wall, but with only the Kuzumbo there to apply pressure, he's not really in too much danger at the moment. And in fact, we got a big rotation going on. Uh-oh. This could look dicey. The neutral buff going to be dropped. The shield one, in fact, on the dual lane. That secondary buff that you can pick up in addition to your regular buff provides a nice little shield. So great for the supports. And it's going to be picked up, I believe, by the Kuzumbo, in fact. As we see some farm being picked up here. But the dance around the Gold Fury has begun. They're getting the Samba. And it looks like KingFsher is going to be the first to tango. Big route to negate the sumo, but a big jump in as well. Uh-oh. This is looking quite dicey for KingFsher. If he even pops the res on himself, doesn't even matter. And he's Dunsky. Out of the fight, their support goes, and that leaves them all pretty vulnerable. Without that res, those clutch res that he's pulling up here, it's going to be quite difficult to ensure any safety. That team looking an awfully lot less tanky with him around. And in fact, that Gold Fury is going to be begun. The full dive on it. But we do have a bit of zoning going on, a big unstable vortex. Going to do some solid damage there. Oh no, a big pick as each mid picks up a kill, but the mid from the staff team's gonna fall. Maki gonna get his kill of his own, gonna take on Troll, and the big baby's out, but not gonna be supplying too much damage to our pretty tanky friend Power. In fact, it might look like he's in trouble once he shrinks back down, shield's out. But it seems like they still want to fight. Tantalus is still going in. And he succeed. I actually did not expect that at all. All right, gonna be able to finish off Weeb. And Tornado will drop back down to the KingFsher. They're going to realize they don't have enough damage quite to pick up any more kills. So they're just going to retreat on back. And overall, fight that's going to end, I'd say, like, honestly, not too unfavorably for staff, but still looking like it's going to be a league victory. As you can see right there, another gold dropped. But in this case, it was, I believe, in favor of League, and they're going to lengthen that gold lead 5,000. Now we saw 3,000 last time we analyzed it. It's looking a bit dicey. Looking a bit dicey.
Yeah, they're slowly growing that lead just enough. I mean, when you saw that fight happen, Lancelot was trying to position his ult in a proper way to be able to get a good position for a bigger fight. But it just ended up that big baby Vamana was boxing out 3 people at the exact same time, including the Lancelot himself. And so there was absolutely no chance of that. And now you got 4 versus 1 in the mid lane with a Tiamat coming to help, but KingFsher's going to be able to dash away and then use the ultimate on himself this time. And Tiamat Tornado will get the kill. Akamaru with another secure on the KingFsher kill. But back to what I was saying, the Vamana Big Baby is not only a threat to like little swishy people, it's a threat to the tanks as well, which is very scary when you have a Vamana ADC as well.
Another tower dropped. Looking at the Pyromancer now. It's just, I've got to say, I'm liking the play from KingFsher, but he's going in a bit too hard there. Pyromancer's going to be dropped in favor of the league team, but they're going to actually pick up some kills against them. As Power is going to sweep up Akamaru, but be swept up himself, and it looks like they're not done. I don't know how he got stuck in the back lines, but Nooblet's got to get out of there. Teleport out, but will the blink come up from our friend Kuzumo? I don't know why he's pathing that way. He's going back further. Going to try to get up another unstable vortex, another portal at some point. Big one there, going to get through the maximum distance through that barrier. Actually going to get him safely back in the arms of KingFsher as he tries to pull him off of his teammate there, Weeb. But he does not matter. Weeb getting taken out by Tantalus there. And now KingFisher's on the menu. They don't care about a tower. F that tower, man. They're going to dive you anyway. Oh, no. Knocked up, smacked up, brought back to the fountain. That is unfortunate. And they're just unfortunate, senseless loss, in my opinion, there. League had already dropped that Pyromancer. It was honestly as good as done. They already had a member down. I really don't think we can afford to be picking up fights like that. We need to be picking up farm. We need to be retreating, covering our bases here, not scrapping in the middle of, in the middle of an objective that's already essentially lost for your team.
Did you see who survived that entire fight, though?
It was Nooblet, I believe. No?
Yeah, Nooblet. Yeah. The one that was in the worst position in the beginning of that fight, he got all the way out of it while 2 of his friends on his team died. So it was just very unlucky for the 2 people that ended up showing up, because I think if Khepri would have used the 2 on gave him that blessing on Nooblet, on Giannis on the left-hand side of the map when he was running back and then ran away, I think we might have had more people survive. But instead...
Not able to bless up there, unfortunately.
Not able to bless up. Kiss up, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, it's no, it's unfortunate. We're just picking not the right fights. I was liking it more. I mean, obviously, it was the laning phase a bit easier to play back, but I was liking it better when they were just kind of keeping the game pace in a more relaxed state. Because when you pick up the pace, it's going to be in the league's favor. They're more aware. They have that game knowledge innately in the back of their minds that they're going to be able to make those snap decisions a lot better, I'd say, than the staff is. So it's honestly within their best interest, I'd say, to try to slow it down a little bit, get the MPH down a bit. But seems like they have no intent of that as we look to scrap back in the side on the right. Not quite around any objectives here, but I'd imagine any team that does lose this fight is going to be getting the fire for the other team. But a big revival blessing. Nice job, KingFsher. Once again, max length going to get Weeb out of there, but does not mean the rest of his teammates are safe. Separated out. We see Nooblet on the left side. Oh, a beautiful umbrella toss through the wall, predicting his movements there, and it's not even over. Oh no, Market's going all the way back. He knows he can't escape at this point. Gonna try to take one down with him, and Lancelot is going to pick it up. He says thank you to Nooblet. Nooblet, in fact, only with Kuzumo at the moment, might be able to get out. But in the meantime, KingFsher drops. Oh no, Kuzumo's got the spikes out. He kills himself, I believe. No, Market. So unfortunate. Pow was sweeped up too. They're all going backwards. Your fountain's the other way. Excellent blink. He heard me. He must have heard me. But the blink in retaliation going to ribbon him, and he's going to be dropped anyway by the umbrella dash. That is, it's rough. And that one's rough.
That's an extreme fight right there. That was a very long fight as well. I mean, there were 3 separate fights going on. One at the red buff, one at the fire giant, and one in the mid lane. And they were all probably shouting in their comms at the exact same time, trying to say what they're doing and stuff like that. This ult's down, that's ult's down. I'm doing this. I'm going to try to get here. Man. And then probably after, they're all like, darn it. Darn it, we're all dead. Yeah, why did we lose?
And as we see the objective play being put back up, no longer the Fire Giant being looked at, but another Gold Fury here. Let's see if the league can secure a second one for themselves of the 3 that we've, well, this would be the 3rd. But why would you use your portal like that? No! He's in trouble right now, but Nooblet going to be able to get out with the handy-dandy use of his ult, but essentially leaving that Gold Fury to them. I mean, Nooblet trying to get back in, but they know his cooldowns are down. I'm not sure if that's the wisest play. Of course, that unstable Vortex going to deal some damage, but, oh, we got the rest of the cavalry here, though. And low health, honestly, on the league side here. But unfortunately, Gold Fury going to be dropped, but brought back down as we see that Tantalus is dropped as well. The mana beads used, And it seems like Staff's going to press this, and I, for once now, agree with this. The aggression is deserved here. Looking to try to get a little bit of a lazy back there. Not the wisest. Sashed. Oh, misses the ring. That was an important one, but big damage to the Unstable Vortex. Not quite enough to kill. So unfortunate, but a revival is going. Oh, but he's lurking. He wants it still. That's awesome.
Oh.
I really appreciate. Oh, he's still going to live. All right, Mox is going to finally get a kill for the Staff side. That was worrying me. I was about to say, all that work? Come on, now you got to pick up something. But King of Darkness, you got to respect that, man. I love the bloodthirstiness of this dude. It's working out. Oh, the Sash. Tried it. We've tried to go for it. Didn't quite work out. But overall, seems like the Staff, no, they're pressing an advantage too much. God dang it, man. I was just about to go on a rant about how good things are going. Then we see KingFsher go down, and then we see Makin go down. Why'd you go back in? No! Get out! Get out!
Get out! Pella
Oh
in there by himself. Oh, he's got horse.
Okay, this is looking so. He ulted. He missed it. No, oh my gosh. We've had several opportunities to get out. Gonna try to secure that kill for his team, but instead he goes down. And but iNooblet going to be able to pick it up, but get picked up himself unless he can evade the Hoombots. It seems like he has the leap wasted. Oh my gosh. And now they're going to redirect their attention back to Powa. He's picked up. I don't even know how many kills that fight was. It feels like there was 10. Did they all just like get back out of town and go right back in? What just happened? It seems like
we are having some
difficulties here. Apologies, my friends. We will be back shortly. Apologies there, everyone. We are back here with some unfortunate news here that no, KingFsher is DC'd. Dang. That is unfortunate. After such an intense fight, too. The crescendo matched only by this absolute detriment to the Staff team, as they have to now not only make up for the deficit in gold and XP, but also in teammates. That's a dang shame.
Yeah, KingFsher's had like 5 or 6 great ultimates this game, full distance, really helping his team out, be able to iNooblet with saves twice. I think Mocket was saved once. I mean, the death count could be a lot higher, but without KingFsher now, that count could go a lot higher.
And oh no, it seems like alongside KingFsher, iNooblet's aim has also DC'd, because where was that going? It didn't even hit the FG. That is unfortunate. Going to be lasered down by Tsukiyomi. It seems like Mocket trying to take the role here of KingFsher, trying to save his team, but he doesn't have a revive. You can't do that. iNooblet going to be dropped. The Fire Giant can be resumed. And with how easy this Fire Giant is to drop, you know that despite having low health, they're going to have no issue taking this one out. Oh, wait a second. What? Never mind. Staff takes it down. And now it's a big retreat going to be necessary for them, unless they don't even want to. Maki going to be cleaning them up, but I think it's a mistake of them to not be pushing the retreat a little bit more. We have some decent health teammates here on the side of Staff, but they need to be hitting some abilities, otherwise they're going to be in more trouble. In fact, it looks like we might be getting some kills here picked up in... Oh my gosh, Tantalus. Going off. That is so unfortunate. A few missed abilities from Mocket and Weeb just going to result in that being completely flipped on them. It seems like the league knew something I didn't. They had the right instinct in pushing that disadvantage, even though they had lost the FG.
Yeah, after the game in this chat, whatever this game ends, you know, whoever wins, I think in the lobby I would say GG stole fire. You know, that's your winning case right there for Staff members. You can say easy steal, no problem, didn't even try. So we can take that win as a Staff member right here.
There it is. I feel pride again, just like we were saying before. World Cup moment. Our big dash, they're going in to try to kill the Mana, but not quite able to. Unfortunate. And it seems like iNooblet's not going to take that as an answer. Goes for the Unstable Vortex and going to pick it up. Beautiful kill on a flipping ninja, but now he's got to get quite out. And he does. Excellent job there, honestly. That was really risky maneuvering with using the through space and time to try to get in and using the portal to get out, but he worked beautifully. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the same will be said for Weeb, as he is taken down. Fear no evil, and Akamaru is going to be able to pick up iNooblet. Mocket taking down Troll, though, in retaliation. He said, that's my brother, man. How could you? And it seems like it's going to be a retreat. No, never mind. Mocket wants more. He's thirsty, and he's going to not get anything in return. He's, in fact, going to just have to go right back to the fountain. This is an unfortunate push here. We see, obviously, having that support lost is going to be responsible for a lot of losing this tankiness. I mean, this team, without KingFsher, is going to be significantly more squishy. Really, a lack of frontline is going to prove to show the cracks in this team even more than they had already. So, just an unfortunate situation here as we zoom in on the robust back of KingFsher. Even when he's DC'd, my God, he looks majestic.
Yeah, prayers up for KingFsher, man. He's not in the game right now, but he's somewhere,
He's in
dealing
our
with some
hearts.
type of situation. Yeah, he is in our hearts, and he's reviving Kronos whenever he rewinds. We can just think of it like that. That's a second life for Mocket, who is for sure being one of the most aggro members of the staff team. That guy has walked into 3 fights like without fear. There's no fear, no evil from Hoombots, but he has none.
I respect it, man. It's pretty cool. I mean, you got to be careful as Kronos, though. Obviously, you have that ult to escape out, but it is predictable. They know you're pathing from that. Not quite the same mobility as Nooblet's got, so he can do it a bit more easily. But all that ult going to go right into a wall. No way he's escaping that. Weeb taken down by flipping ninjas, and he's going to be kind of trying to flip some more. As he moves on over towards Mocket. Mocket going to use that ult, but it seems like that might be a mistake. Oh, actually, never mind. Going to ult right back into his teammate. Never mind, we're good. They weren't really picking the pathing there quite of the Kronos ult. And in fact, it seems like Nooblet now going to be in trouble. The other mage taken out. The spin, Tineless going to go back in, try to get some more pickups there. Mocket on a full retreat right now, get a little time rift. They're going to add on some bit of damage, but Tsukiyomi's going to add on some of his own with his own ult. Lasering him down. Powa not knowing what to do. Should I stay under the tower? Should I go back to Fenyx? Go into the tornado, get knocked up? He was not sure there. He had a bit of indecisiveness, but he's going to be able to go back to the Fenyx just fine because now the only one pressing the assault is Troll, and that's going to be okay. So it seems like we have a bit of a dire situation here. Some Fenyx sieging going on this side here in a moment once they get this tier 2 down, I'd imagine. Hopefully they'll press that advantage so they can secure future Fire Giants. Definitely the wisest play to get that Fenyx farthest away.
Yeah, I see that staff is really actually trying here. They're really doing their best, and I think these fights are obviously it's not swinging their way at the end of the time. But that was a really cool rewind by by Mocket. We were just talking about rewind, and hopefully Weeb can get out of this one. He does have ultimate, so he should be able to get out. Oh, he's not going to get out. Instead, he's going to go right onto it because Nooblet's right here with a portal and an unstable vortex that will secure the kill right into Troll Academy. Troll Academy really overreaching.
I like it. Dude, I like that. You know he must be feeling some sort of vertigo after that. He's brought up, brought back down, sent through a freaking dimensional rift, brought back down, smacked in the face by 2 dimensional orbs. Dude, that's got to be the roughest feeling.
Yeah. Great combination. It's almost worse than getting hit by a large dragon, right when you come down.
He said, you like that? Oh, you like that? Let me shoot these unstable vortexes into empty air. You like that one?
Yeah, Nooblet has been very infamous this game for using that on cooldown, whether there's something there or not.
It, dude. It's tough.
I mean, yeah, you shoot it. Shoot your shot.
He is certainly shooting his shots, trying to slide into Fire Giant DMs right now, but it seems like they are guarding them jealously. They say, no, that's my Fire Giant right there. Going to be driving them off there a little bit. Wise play, honestly. I appreciate the conservative play. I've been saying it the entire time. They've got to be careful. They've got to let them make the mistakes. Especially when we have one person down, I can respect that you got to make something happen, but you got to choose those opportunities when they pop up, and they're not letting them appear in front of them. They're trying to force it a bit too much here. So, a bit wiser to just let them beat themselves in. In fact, we see King of Darkness going pretty far in right now. Oh, he's lurking though. I'd be able to try to snag it himself at the end.
Guess who else is far? Nooblet's far.
Oh, he is far. What is he doing? Nooblet, get out of there, buddy! No! That's actually... No, very wise. Going to manage to just completely negate, essentially, the watery grave. Another ult dropped there by the Mana. Flippin' Ninja's going to try to do some flipping and knock him down with some umbrellas, but just going to saunter off. So 2 ults expended there, and the tornado as well. All right, so honestly, some pretty big abilities being expended right now. We see Weeb here, a bit far. Trying to clear up, and the Fire Giant will be started by the League.
Yeah, Weeb is one of the lowest levels in this game at level 17, right ahead of Kuzumbo at level 16. This time he hits Fire Giants, by the way.
There it is, man. Those stationary targets can be hard,
Oh, they for sure can, especially with this new Fire Giant.
Yeah, man, you just don't know where it is. It could be the center or the center or even the center. But honestly, they're gonna drop it now, and in fact, Weeb's gonna get dropped himself, but not before dropping flipping ninjas. Okay, did not expect that. Thought honestly he'd be tanking up to survive that. The ult though, maybe going to have. Well, you know what? With this deficit of teammates, trades really aren't worth it in that sense. It's honestly you really want to be getting picks soloed off because now it's just a 3v4. And in fact, they've lost another person who they could really count more so on as a frontliner. Obviously Najee not the best frontliner, but when you don't have your Khepri, he'll have to do. And now they don't have him.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Nooblet, man. This guy has been in a bad position 4 or 5 times this game, and 50 to 60% of the time he has gone out scratched like free. He has not even been touched. So pretty legendary from him. While he throws out his unstable vortex and then pulls away within an instant. He's playing Yon and is really well actually.
No, I'm liking the hit and run guerrilla tactics. I appreciate, especially when you're at this disadvantaged position. You got to play like that. You got to play a bit frustrating. It's not like they have any massive sustain on their team right now to really ensure that they can heal up back that poke damage, and it's solid poke damage if you can get it off. So honestly, I think that's the right way to be playing right now. I think it's a commendable job he's doing. But they're retreating back here as we see the league probably going to start the FG again. They have the vision. They know who's going to be coming if they're coming, and going to get that on started here, I'd imagine, in a second. And in fact, lay down even more coverage for Vision, just so they can really ensure that no one comes to crash their party.
Yeah, the thing that they can't stop, though, is, again, its ultimate. I mean, if that thing goes across the entire map and hits that fire giant, it is no ward will save you at that point. But they're all walking over wards here, and they're going to be walking in, trying to maybe defend this.
Oh, big ult going to come down, instantly targeting Makin. He's been doing that a lot right there. We've seen Troll just shredding him down, and this is no exception. That ult's not going to save you, he says. He just decimates him. Makin, unfortunately, not going to be able to take that one down, and Weeb also cut down to size. That's just 2 drops, easily done. The league team. It's 35 kills to 14. You hate to see it. 12,000 gold down. It's looking to be really, really rough here. That you can see the deficit there is at this point starting into that insurmountable range where you just gotta wonder how they could even get this back if they got another like solid fight off on them. Another ult missed there. Come on, man! Come on,
you guys so
man!
close, Nooblet, so close every single time, man. But let's see if we can get this Kuzumbo. No.
Wait, no, big ult there. He
yes.
said, nice. I respect that. No, he knew also when he's mobile, obviously off the joust. Tsukiyama was not going to catch up to that with the ult expended recently, but Nooblet, unfortunately, that positioning not going to be saved this time. No Khepri to help you out. He's going to be able to ride out Powa at the very least. Moved off to the left, and the FG is going to be dropped. And it looks like he's going to be pushing off onto that Fenyx. See how they?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised the score is 15-36, man. That is actually a really close score for what this game is. And they are going on 31 minutes. That is Enhanced Fire Giant, which means that Fenyx got melted very quickly. Tsukiyomi ult coming out. Neja is going to take someone up into the air, but come down to an enemy. Kills Z-Daedalus. I mean, Tiamat gone, but right, the response. Neja gone.
Nice jump over that stun there. And wow, Akamaru able to pick up the kill and live with a sliver of health, and that's a deicide right there. I mean, you have KingFsher obviously lurking in the back, but I think the current state is not gonna be quite the threat that he maybe once was. Gonna try to shred down this Fenyx, and I'd imagine if over game here, we're gonna look back at KingFsher. You know, the highlight reel, obviously MVP defensively for that team. That is
yeah.
that is rough.
We pay respects. I mean, that's it. You know, guess we said pray, bless up like last time. We're blessing up to KingFsher again. Oh, Nooblet,
picking up the kill on Akamaru. Very quick, man. I love again, like you were saying, love that little evasive gameplay. Just pops in, gets that quick pickup, dips right back. I love it. I'm a big fan, honestly. Drops the speed.
Nooblet, you're such a menace.
He wants to go fast. He wants to go fast. I honestly.
Menace.
It makes sense though, given what he's doing. It makes complete sense though, given what he's doing. I actually really respect that. It's kind of dope. He wants to like be able to skirmish, hit back in and out. Gonna clear some of these fire minions off the Titan with 2 Fenyxes down, 3 Fenyxes down. Sorry, that is looking quite rough as far as the defense goes. They're really gonna be crippled. They're gonna be sitting here in the Titan defending the base the entire time, and there's really nothing they can do to stop that. It's gonna prevent them from having much farm too, beyond just the minions. So this is looking bad. This is looking rough.
Oh,
that was just that. I didn't want the camera to pan over there. That was hard to watch. We've just collapsed onto, destroyed very quickly.
Double
and it looks
blank.
like they're gonna be trying to push that into the Titan. No minions here though. So honestly, a bit risky. Titan getting slowly taken down. Caltrops down. Big Lancelot gonna try to knock out some damage. Ninja's in a bit of trouble right here, but does he have his ult? No, he does not actually, in fact, so he could be in a bit of trouble. Spot of bother. As Nooblet gonna charge in, he's got speed buff. You can't escape from him. Oh, okay, maybe you can. He's gonna run right back out. Bit of danger. Makin gonna take him out with his stun. Ult out, beautifully done, anticipating that damage before it could get too hot and heavy, and gonna actually be able to recover a lot of that health back. But the team on Twitter gonna send him right back to the fountain. He's backing. He said, "Oh, I'm good. Honestly, beautiful defense. You know what? That was really good. They really, the league was, they were trying to get a bit cheeky. They had no minions in. They really had no business being the Titan there. They could have waited. They could have been patient, but they weren't, and they paid the price.
Yeah, Nooblet and, I mean, your Kronos and your Giannis, Nooblet and Makin are playing this godlike. They're playing exactly what you said. Poke, get out. Poke, get out. Poke, get out. Nooblet is still alive. He was at our red buff here. And so, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do right now if they're going to be able to do it, but they can try.
Nice stun to interrupt the sumo pull there, and the weave just once again just rushing at the tie. It's unfortunate, but Naja's not going to be tanking enough to hit all these big teamfight abilities. Tantalus going to take down Mocket as well. One of their big damage dealers is going to be dropped, and the Titan, it seems like, as well. But iNooblet going to pick up a kill, but not enough. And with 3 members of League left up alive, you got to wonder as to how many seconds it's going to take for that Titan to be taken as well. Fire minions pouring in, and that is going to be a League victory. You know what? A really solid showing there from the staff team. They had the deficit from the team. You know, obviously they were data deficit from that before, but you have to wonder what would have happened if KingFsher stuck around.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it would have been a really close fight. I think that with all that poking that was going on and stuff like that, imagine having a Khepri ult with that. That would be very detrimental to the League team. They would have a very hard time surviving throughout that. So, man, was KingFsher the decider if this game was a win or a lose? I don't exactly know, but it would be very, very cool to see this match be played exactly like this again, right with these two teams. Man, that'd be super cool to see what would happen at the end game.
Yeah, we definitely got the dark timeline here with KingFsher getting outed early, but you know what? That's still okay. They had a good showing here. If you look at just like player damage, we had Mocket knocking down a pretty solid, pretty hefty 23k damage there. Honestly, Powell really was showboating it too. When he was in that early game, he was like doing a great job in that laning phase. I really liked how he was just being a little bit of a bait and switch character there. Once he realized that first kill, he had to switch up his strategy. I think he was really adaptable. And iNooblet, of course, no surprise there that he was doing that much damage, the most on his team, because he was really going ham there with those aggressive entries with the portals.
Yeah, no holds back from iNooblet. I mean, the guy was everywhere all at once. I mean, you could not find him, but you also were getting killed by him. It's one of those type of things. It's kind of like a Bastet, or like many other gods in this game that bring a lot of chaos by being a mid laner. And that's something that is a talent and something that iNooblet did very well. And so did Mocket playing a Kronos. He was able to get in there and then just rewind right back 50 billion feet away and then go fight again. I mean, really cool play from the two of them, especially at that end game. And obviously, Power being the only tank did as best as he could.
Absolutely, but don't want to detract from our friends on the League team. They also had a really good showing. I honestly, I didn't give enough due credit to Troll. He was putting up some really solid damage numbers, the most on his team, in fact. I think I was honestly a bit distracted by the big, the big flashy abilities of Tantalus, who was picking up the most kills there. But Troll with the maximum player damage there, yeesh, 39k, rough, man. That's pretty impressive. I mean, he was really laying down the smackdown, especially when he was targeting Mock in the backline, using those lasers really effectively to make sure he could dive in the backline where the people were most squishy. So honestly, some really solid play. But I gotta say, for my money, the most enjoyable play to watch was definitely King of Darkness with those sick, awesome little Tokyo drift turns that he was pulling with the sumo pushes. That was awesome.
Yeah, from minute 1, he did it right to Mocket's face, and then he did it again at the end of the game. So from minute 1 to minute whatever it was, 35 or 33,
Yeah,
was able to bring once again another god that can bring a lot of chaos. Kuzumbo,
absolutely.
different than a Geb, different than a Kumbhakarna. I mean, different than these regular supports. You will never see a person pick Kuzumbo and say, "Yeah, I'm just a normal dude." We see people like Awesome Jake play that god, and he's a
Yeah,
very
man.
very unusual person to be able to play that god. He plays tier support. He plays a lot of different kinds of supports. So King of Darkness, really good job on the Kuzumbo for sure.
For sure. And this was just, overall great game here. And if you want to see more great games like this, you want to maybe even participate in some great games like this, remember that scouting for this tournament for the Smite Draft League does begin February 10th. Please sign up if you are interested. We'd be happy to have you. It's a great time, great people, as you can see here, this game. And it would be awesome to have some more people coming in. We're a growing community. Smite Season 10 is a big one. Yeah, awesome to have you aboard. So without any further ado, my name is Derek, or my name's Oh God, don't dox me. Oh
My
God,
name's
don't dox me.
KingFsher.
And I'm joined here by Fenyx, and we will be off. Have a good one, everyone.
Oh, how I have missed you, and welcome to the Season 2 Showcase Smite Draft League. I'm Anthony Malum. I'm back. We've got KingFsher as my chair, too. He's back, and iNooblet still running cameras. And let's get into picks and bans of this showcase game between the SDL staff and the SDL League.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really fun one. I mean, obviously, one of the first games back of the season, but not only that, we're in a new season. It's season 10. There's a new god. He's not playable yet, but even more important, a brand new map and brand new items. But Anthony, what are your first impressions of this new season? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What's up with
I,
that?
I have thoroughly enjoyed this season. I think this is one of the better changes. I mean, granted, there are some things that are super strong, and one could definitely argue a bit overtuned. Bluestone comes to mind, certainly, to begin. And Mage ADCs are making a huge comeback, which I kind of love to see because they can be so exciting to watch. But there's so many things. I'm curious, what are your favorite things so far, or things you don't like?
Yeah, I think definitely along the same lines. I think my biggest love of this season is just it's all so balanced now. They took out hybrid items, which I think makes it a lot clearer for tanks and junglers and their build paths. I think I agree with what you said. Some things like Bluestone and crit on Hunters still feel a little bit powerful, but overall, it's really even across the map. It really feels like any role at this point can kind of carry games. But this is one pick we've really seen surge in popularity. It's going to be the Fenrir first lock for the staff.
Not surprised at all. We saw his second ability with the lifesteal all of a sudden become even stronger with some attack speed. And again, mentioning Bluestone, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bluestone get picked up here first in favor of other starter items because it's so strong. And just like we talked about, Mage ADCs, there's a soul second. So we're not messing around today.
Definitely not. We've been paying attention to the metas. And I think, like you said with Fenrir, obviously Bluestone change really big, but getting attack speed on his 2, it's going to be really interesting to see if that switches up the build path and see if they go for any more auto attack items. But on the flip side, like you said, Mage ADCs, they feel really good right now for the first time since, I think, what was it, like season 7, where Freya and Oleron
Yeah.
were really big? Kind of their first time back into the limelight, and paired with the Hercules, this is going to be a really hard team to go against.
Being a showcase so far, things are perfect because Hercules also had a change. His mitigate wounds now also gives 25% attack speed, which seemed to be a common change. And warriors I find really interesting this season because I almost feel like with the change to hybrid items, the build paths are more clear. You can go full tank and be a second support, or as a warrior from solo lane, you can actually carry a game for once if you go damage items because you can't get that hybrid damage. You got to commit to a damage item.
Yeah, and it's definitely a big balancing act, and I think especially with Hercules, a new breastplate of regrowth has absolutely insane stats, a really, really good defensive item. So definitely expect him to pick that up first or second item. On the flip side, another mage ADC, so we're really going to see a Season 7 duo lane. A Serket lock-in. Now, do you think that's going to go to jungle or support?
If this were a normal game, I'd be tempted to say jungle, but I feel like in a staff v league, everyone's trying to have some fun and just kind of show off and tear the other one apart. I would not be surprised to see a Serket support. The clear is great. The lane pressure is great with that taunt. I mean, I've played it a couple of times this season, and it's been strong for me every time. And they might even go aggressive. And while it could put you behind in gold, I wouldn't be shocked to see a Serket support with Bluestone.
Yeah, definitely possible. And, Steel, a very, very aggressive support at times. So definitely going to be in his God pool. And finally, we see the Maui ban, another, I think, support that's been really seeing a lot of play over the new season. Along with a Scylla and a Poseidon. I haven't seen too much Scylla, kind of a pick that always comes alive in playoffs. We saw it at the end of our Season 1 tournament. A lot of Scylla in the mid lane, but not one of the mages that really got impacted with all the new changes this season.
For sure. And you kind of just put an interesting thought into my mind. We have not seen SPL yet. The rosters have only just been announced. We haven't seen our own league yet. We've really only had ranked play so far for there to be any type of meta. And these guys are kind of going in here blind and just figuring things out themselves. So while some picks will be fun, given this is for fun between staff and league, I think there's a lot of exploring to do here. And we might see some shifts from what you might see in your normal ranked game or your casual game.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be one of kind of the first avenues for these players to show off anything they've learned that we've missed out on Season 10, any really strong picks, pairings, anything like that can definitely be the game to bring it out, and it is the first game, so we're setting the meta here, not the SPL. And a couple of odd bans and a Chronos
Wow.
as well. Is that going to be Chronos mid, Soul mid?
I have to assume it's Chronos mid because while Chronos can be disgusting in the ADC role, I think the build you're going for Chronos right now for maximum damage is a little bit better suited to the mid lane. You're getting a Book of Thoth, you're looking at Divine, Poly, while Soul actually can take more advantage of those rings given her passive. So I expect Chronos to be the mid, but again, anything could happen here.
Yeah, both of them definitely got really big carry potential, can do pretty much anything. Now there's a pick I have not seen in a long time. It's going to be the Chang'e, a really interesting one as well. I've heard that the new tablet obviously gives you some true damage per your max mana. So if Chang'e chooses to pair that up with the Book of Thoth, even though she has kind of lower hitting abilities, could really do some solid damage, especially to the tanks, because it's just going to ignore all that protection.
I think this chunk is not a terrible pick into this composition, though. I mean, there's a lot of dangerous CC. You got the Chrono stun, the Serket taunt. Serket ult's going to be doing some work. Hercules is putting pressure on you. Having that get out of jail free card from Chang'e's second ability could be pretty drastic in just surviving some of these fights.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Going to be really interesting to see how that pairs with the
Oh,
rest of the team. And a Kumba Karna for support. So I guess that is going to be a Serket jungle. And two really interesting team comps to start off Season 2.
I could not be any more excited. Again, we've got Staff on order. We've got League on Chaos. Let's not wait any more. We will see you in game number 1. Check out these jungle starts. Welcome to year 10. Let's do it.
Yeah, and already the jungle starts. It's a really contested topic, I found. There's a lot of different people who like to start a lot of different ways, but all of them got one thing in common. You do take a lot of damage. I mean, Dracul and Steve are nearly dead there on the Chaos side.
Wow.
Trying to get that purple down. I don't think they were planning on that. That's definitely going to use up some health pots.
Yeah, that's tough. Thankfully, Steve's already back to half, but Dracul's very low, and Cairo and Stooms are really healthy from taking the slower start, and they still get here first. So a big victory so far early on here for Seth. We'll see what that pressure means. We do see a gank here in solo. Cubs heading over. The jump does not hit. Brutalize doesn't hit either, and Seal gets to walk right underneath the tower. And there's the pull in the tower, but it does not do much to Asian, who gets to live another day.
Yeah, really good job by Steel getting out, nearly getting him caught there, and a big stun by Dracul. Taking return damage, though, gonna be able to walk away. Maybe. Yeah, he should.
Looks like a return gank is coming, though. We do see Fish on the way, and Serket, there's the blink and the taunt on the Cairo, and Steve picks up the first blood for League, and Stoops should be soon to follow. There's the shell. Freeze comes out, but Stoops cannot survive the day. Soul's got a double kill. Dangerous words for Staff to be hearing.
Yeah, definitely. Probably not the start they were looking for. If I had to put money on it, both of them are going to fall, as well as they used both relics. So the Staff going to have a really rough time there in the duo lane over the next couple minutes. Definitely going to have to play a little bit less aggressive than I'd like. But speaking of aggressive, it's one big new change in this season that I don't think we've talked about a whole ton yet. The shards, instead of just a vision shard, really allow you to play a lot of different ways. We saw Dracul use the Carapace shard in that fight, potentially taking the protections away from Chiron, which made him fall really, really quickly.
Yeah, it was very effective, very quick, and we did see Chiron use that wing shard pretty early, which I wonder if he kind of wish he had that for movement speed to get out of lane during that fight, but it is back up now, so it could help out for this next engagement. We do see that Staff is pushed under tower, but Cub's on the way, but Cub's low. Insol does some numbers. Dracul gets the root off now. Brutalize on to Dracul from Cub. There's the Mesmerize, though. And this is looking pretty for League, and it will end up being an escape for them. Not a lot Staff could do there, but a good rotation nonetheless. Big fighting in solo. Asian and Steel both low, but with the healing from Steel, I have to imagine Asian's just going to back up.
Yeah, definitely. I think Thor, especially early game, maybe a little bit more damage than Steel when it comes to trading, but Steel can be a lot tankier. LDG Fish still lurking. Ymir Wall gonna separate them.
Yeah, the up-down jump might have been good, but Stoops wisely backed away instead of going towards purple, which gave him room to put the wall up. And it doesn't look like it's going to turn into a purple invade either, and Staff's going to head over and try to secure it early. But yeah, going back to these shards, take us through what are some of your favorite shards, what are some ones that are a little bit less impactful in your opinion?
So I think by far and away the best shard has to be Wing Shard. I mean, 40% attack speed, 15% movement speed. It's really, really strong for ADCs in particular, I think, but just that movement speed allows a lot of getaway. Carapace Shard, I think, is pretty situational, but pretty good. Cub misses the stun, and Boulder, too late from Steel. But yeah, like I said, Carapace Shard can be really good in situations. Claw Shard and Horn Shard, I don't think they're as strong as the other two, but definitely, I think all of them can work well in situations. Then Vision Shard is just a classic. Everybody loves Vision Shard.
Yeah, and the other staff set, we saw Vision's Shard be very effective. Ultimate from Nathan onto Virtually. Not doing much, though. Might just be more for some spacing and poke, but Nathan took the fight, and now Virtually's doing numbers. Nathan just needs a couple more basics to fall, using the Bastion for cover, but Virtually gets the kill onto Nathan. It's a solo in the mid lane. Cub is here, but only level 4, so going to be tough to engage onto that Chronos. He jumps anyway, but there's the rewind. Back to the Bastion. There's the stun. Brutalized Beast through it, and Cub picks up the kill despite being 2 levels down thanks to the low health bar of Virtually, and it's the first kill for Staff.
Yeah, and a great kill there from Cub, and we saw a few of the shards come out during that fight. Pop the claw in order to get some bonus lifesteal, and I think Nathan had used his Horn Shard earlier, so doesn't get that little bit of cooldown that might have gotten him out of that kill from the Chronos. But regardless now, it's pretty evenly spread out compared to what we've been seeing. I feel like the league has been kind of setting the pace here. That was the first real answer back from the staff we've seen. They're down about 1,000 gold already. Not the greatest of spots to start out.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough fight. Nathan taking a good bit of poke again, and Dracul is here, but so is Stoomps, so Nathan should be okay. Mesmerized only picked up Stoomps, so he was safe. But yeah, it's kind of a tough start here for Staff, and it could only go worse. I mean, granted, League is League for a reason, but Staff going to do their best to change that with the Fenrir gank in the dual lane. Cub getting some good damage onto Steve, but there's the ultimate. Beats comes out after the Disapparate. Valkyrie's discretion will be enough for the kill. Cub cleans it up, and they do not fall to Supernova. There was a kill picked up in mid lane onto Nathan at the same time, though. So not a victory all across the map for Staff, but picking up victories where they can.
Yeah, and the Mage ADCs already having a really big presence both in mid from Virtually, and then Chiron getting the upper hand in duo Virtually again. And managed to take down Stoomps, and the Chronos with the Tilkine's ring really doing damage early. Oh, Asian not able to get into the air. League are up 6 kills to 2 now. Ooh, that cannot be fun.
That's a tough spot to be in, and honestly, I think the most concerning thing is that the kills so far have gone to Chronos and Soul, which is kind of the worst case scenario. That's the last thing you want to do. I have a hard time imagining that's going to be an easy mountain to come back on. I do want to talk a couple of items here. We do see Chiron getting some pressure from Steve, but just for a deep laning phase here. Kumbhakarna went the Prophetic Cloak. What are your thoughts on that item? It's a bit tough to stack, so I'm curious what you think.
I think it's very dependent on the team comp. I've played a little bit of support this season with it, and I've found it really depends who the main jungler are and how aggressive they are. Steel gets picked up. Asian gonna do some damage. Hercules not gonna be able to get away. Cub gets his third. But I think back to the cloak, if you have a good mix of aggression from the enemy mid lane, it can be a really good item if you're able to stack it. It just takes a while, but I think Ymir is doing the start that I like, going Gauntlet of Thieves and then Prophetic Cloak. The Prophetic Cloak will get online pretty late. You'll have 300 protections by then, gives you an extra, I think, 10 or 15% mitigation.
Yeah, it is a great evolved item. It was nerfed a little bit since PTS. PTS Prophetic Cloak was kind of absurd, but I think it's a risky item. I do think there's a lot of items that could kind of make up the difference for Prophetic, but if you can get it fully stacked, it's certainly worth it. It's kind of like a Hide of the Urchin, but much better. There's a taunt onto Nathan. Gonna have to use beads to get out of there, as well as a dance. He's gonna be safe for now, though. Very close for Nathan, getting very pressured out in this mid lane.
Yeah, not normally used to seeing that. I think from a Chunga, obviously gonna lose lane pressure against a lot of gods, but the CC immunities just haven't quite been on time so far. Definitely gonna get better in late game though. Cub not able to jump over the wall. Virtually looking for the kill. Is he gonna get it?
Will he miss an auto is the biggest question, and it gets picked up, and Cub falls to Virtually make it 4 kills for the Chronos. It looks like he's going into a Berserker's shield as well, so going to be a very dangerous Chronos.
Definitely will be, but I think luckily for Nathan, that physical protection not gonna affect him at all in that mid lane. I mean, really, it's only gonna affect the Thor and the Fenrir too much, so late game that item may not pay off for virtually as well as he thinks it will, but I do want to draw your eyes to one new item, or kinda new, Contagion. Got a really, really big buff in the season, and as a result, we're seeing a lot of solo laners, a lot of Guardians get up, and now Chiron in trouble. Up into the skies.
Valkyrie's discretion to get under the tower, Soul following it up, but not quite enough damage there yet. But might cost Cairo his purple buff, which is not fun to beat ADC. Looks like Fish might consider going back mid, but he will not. Asian picks up a kill in the virtually, but Chiron walked to the purple buff, and there's the ultimate from LDG. Fish picks up the kill onto Cairo, but Staff was cleaning things up in the mid lane, so not an entire loss.
Yeah, good couple of kills from the Staff, and I think you said it best, didn't want to give up that purple buff. Purple buff's still going to be kept up, though, so Chiron can go get it when he spawns back in. Oh, and now that's an interesting one from LDG Fish. I love that item with his playstyle. So I think it's called the Shadow Drinker. If you're able to get a kill, you do go into invisibility. Plays a lot of that isolated jungle, so it's going to be massive. Cub jumping onto Steve and find the kill.
Gonna commit to it, following him through, pops the attack speed stim, but Fish and Dracul are both here. Now Cub's in a tight spot. Gonna have to jump over and look for the Brutalize, but Steve did not commit to the kill, so no slow will come out on Cub, and it looks like Cub's gonna be able to get away from this somehow. We do see a rotation from Virtually, though, but he, despite going the deep route, he cannot cut them off, and Stoomps is here with the wall.
Yeah, I think Cub was in a lot more danger there than it seemed. Literally took, I think, 0 damage, but could have been very, very close to death. But Fenrir are going to be able to walk away. And now, even though we've seen Lee get a lot of those early kills, Staff are playing a little bit safer, so definitely getting their wits about them. But I think level discrepancies might be the hard thing. Both of the mage ADCs are up a level and a half over their lane counterparts. It shouldn't be that impactful early game, but definitely going to need to get some of that XP back going into late, or it could be a wash.
Yeah, I think Staff is going to be leaning on Freya very heavily late game, especially with Nathan getting bullied out here. They're going to have great setup and good damage from Thor and Fenrir, of course, but Freya ultimately will need to be the anchor for Staff to pull this through. Steve and Chiron fighting over the shield buff with no mana. It's a tough fight for Steve. Now taking it with Chiron and getting a bit low, does not have a lot of mana. There's the Banish. Nobody's going to be here anytime soon. Oh, but the one comes out, and Steve had to use the Saporate. He's so low. Valkyrie's discretion to clean it up, and it's a Staff solo kill, baby! Let's go, Cairo.
Been missing the solo kills, and Chiron able to get it. I mean, didn't really lose too much health either. I think Steve just got off to an unlucky start. And that's also something we haven't talked about. The new buff camps on this side. That gold buff on the duo side does give you a small shield, a little bit of protections. Maybe that helped Chiron feel a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more confident. Now we're seeing Hercules rotate over. Oh no, just gonna back. Yeah, Pyromancer not gonna be up for a few minutes. And that's been one big change we've seen. I feel like last game we were seeing Gold Furies, Pyros, as early as 10, 11 minutes. This season, it definitely seems to have slowed down a little bit. It's a much more late game focused game.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, I do want to go back to something we talked about just for a moment earlier. We talked about Shadow Drinker, and I think one of the craziest things about that item, aside from the passive stealth, is the stat stick is pretty absurd. And that kind of feels like a theme this season overall. A lot of these new items, passives aside, their stat sticks are gigantic and they're impactful. Cub in a bit of trouble surrounded by a bunch of members, but there's the ultimate for Nathan, followed up by the ultimate from Asian. Cub pulls Steel under tower. Good damage coming out mid. Cub looking for the kill, but low, has to play it safe, and Steel somehow gets away from all that CC underneath the tower in mid lane, and Staff picks up no kills there despite all the perfectly timed ultimates.
Yeah, both sides really swinging there. Cub nearly got CC chained to death, but able to get away. Same with Steel, that new breastplate paying dividends, able to get that movement speed and walk out of there. Steel though, still being aggressive. I don't know if this is the best spot for the Hercules. This team's a little far away, now under damage.
does steal the red buff, though. Could not pick it up. The wall from Stooms wasn't perfect, but he was able to end it soon. Asian's wall missed as well. They're looking for aggression on Steel, but Virtually's here. They got to play it safe. Dracul's coming as well. Nathan following Dracul, who's taking a lot of damage, but they can't really chase it because Virtually does so much damage. Cub just now here. There's the blink from Asian. They do pick up Dracul, so that'll be a Kumba down. Passive is up, though. Fish uses that passive to his advantage and gets in there with the blink, but Stoops gets a double kill. Make it 2 for the support and the Ymir boy, and Staff has tied it up in kills, 8-8, and Cub wants more, jumps in on Virtually, takes a lot of damage, but Virtually's low on mana. Stoops here as well. There's the ultimate from Cub, pulls him back out of the tower, and Nathan helps clean it up. Cub kills Virtually, and Staff has a lead.
There's a teamwork we were expecting out of the Staff, finally able to pull one team fight really, really well together, and now they're going to march over to Gold Fury. It's going to be a dangerous one. Soul Close has a potential to steal. Making it really unsafe doing so. Thorn to the air.
Staff does get the Gold Fury, though. Asian looking for Steve, and he will back away. And Staff gets to walk away cleanly. You and I both love to see that. Staff has really cleaned it up in these past few minutes, bringing the charts back even, too.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have expected that. After the first few fights, League was looking at a real advantage. I think Staff getting more comfortable with the game and the flow. I think we talked about the mage ADCs a lot, and the fact that League has 2 of them is scary for Staff. But I think luckily for the Order team, Freya's late game carry potential is unmatched by all the other mage ADCs.
Completely.
Focus definitely needs to be sure that Chiron is staying up in levels. Down with the Sora now as Dracul gets locked in. They're not going to commit though.
Instead, kind of take a peek at Virtually, who was able to just walk away. A bit of a split call there, but it would have been tough to get either kill, so it's not the biggest loss, but looks like we do have a jungle invade here from Fish, and nobody's going to contest it either. Let's talk about all the new jungle farm. We've got chests, we've got roaming harpies. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a bigger variety, although there's a lot less of it on the map. I think side lanes in particular, you really realize that. After you clear wave, you can't do anything. Chiron's not going to be able to do anything in a minute here with a gank by LDG Fish.
There's a banish before the ult. Valkyrie discretion, but it's going to be a tough situation here for Chiron. There's the Aegis. This is going to take damage. Might be able to take Fish with him, though, but he cannot after the dash. Chiron does fall to the gank from LDG Fish, and nothing can be picked up so far in mid, but we do have a rotation from Asian on the Thor. Going to go up into the sky, potentially here soon. Cubs does spring Dracul under the tower, but he gets away clean. Asian looking for the late ultimate, see who we can clean up. He does go after Dracul, but it does not look like it hit. There's the jump from Cub. There's the Hercules boulder. Cub taking a lot of damage. They do drop Dracul, but with that passive, so far they haven't cleaned it up. Asian does clean it up, but is the damage worth it? They might have to try to disengage, but Stoops might fall trying to do it. Nathan also deep in it, gets knocked up and pulled back. Asian here trying to get him away. Good damage coming out into League, though, and Asian and Nathan might be able to get away. So tower shots for Steel could not take him down. And Actives lost, Stoops and Cub lost, but not a terrible fight for Staff. Still taking it. Asian cleans up Virtually. Make it a killing spree for him. I did not think Staff was getting any more kills out of that fight, so nice play by the Thor.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a pretty, I guess not easy, but maybe done and over 3v0 for the League. Now Steel lands a clutch.
Wow, a lot of damage on Fish, though, and Nathan cleans it up with the ultimate. They might consider Steel, but Asian's walking away, so Nathan will follow behind. They're going to look at Pyromancer. Steel has the back. They just have to contest with Dracul's, and Kumbhakarna's Steel potential is not really there. And Cub pulls him away. Staff has a Pyromancer, and they're catching up in gold. They're ahead in kills. Staff is looking pretty right now.
Yeah, definitely brought it back from the early game, but now while we have a 2-second break in action, I think we can get back to the farm on
To the jungle camps, correct.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we said it's a lot more spread out, but a lot more variety. I think the junglers in particular, the map is so much bigger now that while they're rotating, they're really able to make their presence felt in lane without missing anything in the jungle. Obviously, a speed buff being on both sides, and the stacking buff for the side laners. There's a lot more to contest, and I think it makes the map a lot more of an even state, whereas in the past we've seen a lot of focus around mid. It's kind of been where teams won and lost the games, but now it's a lot more spread out, and I think as a result we're seeing a way more balanced team comps? That's the right word.
you pulled through.
Eventually. Oh, and the one new item, that still hasn't been talked about, the Pyromancer bomb on Thor.
Yeah, I was going there next. Those bombs are so impactful. They kind of remind me of a better version of the Trebuchet from last season because they're easy to forget about, but they can be so impactful. Unfortunately, it looks like we can't hover it, but they do tons of true damage. I believe it's 1,000 true damage to towers, which is crazy. They pull in Dracul. He's around 4 members. Hard to imagine the Kumba lives here. Passive pulled. See who gets it. They're going to fight for it. Nathan gets the last hit. Make it a kill for Chang'e. And that was a good pick for Staff. They could look to set up for Primal Fury, but League is here to contest. But Staff's looking pretty for this. Chiron's here too, virtually though, in position to get the tier 2 tower, so Staff has to commit to this Primal Fury because they're going to lose tier 2 from it. Cub blinks, misses Steve. Asian misses him as well. Soul in a good spot to get away from this fight. Steel goes in, gets the boulder out, does some good damage to Chiron. Still pulling Primal, but had to let it go, so now it's back to half health. Steel aggresses in. Cub punishes him for it. Picks up the kill on Hercules. It looks like virtually might consider a Fenyx here, but he does walk away. He might have been able to get it with how Chronos hits, but he's going to go ahead and back at the speed buff, changes his mind. They're pulling Primal again. Cub gets taunted in. Mesmerized as well, taking a lot of damage. There's the ultimate from Cub. He jumps forward. Risky call, but gets away with it. Steve around the back and steals the Primal Fury with the Supernova. Valkyrie's discretion to get away for Chiron. Doing a lot of damage, virtually cleans up Cub. He came around the back after all that time. No Fenyx needed. LDG Fish cleans up Stoops, and League took that Primal Fury and ran away with it and the fight to follow. Only Nathan and Asian getting away. Tough break for the Staff.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, we can see more from up here than the players can. I'm a little bit surprised that Staff didn't take that 5v3. They had Kumakarna dead. They know virtually was split pushing.
Oh no. The tower's first kill of SDL Season 2 is Dracul, so mark that one down. That's a victory for the Staff if I've ever seen it.
Definitely a big mental victory, but I think, like I was saying, I mean, they had a 5-on-3 there. They saw virtually split pushing. I'm a little bit surprised that they danced at the goal for you for so long instead of just taking that fight. Now, virtually half HP, but going to be able to get out of there with the speed from that Chronos 2? It's a 2.
Yeah, also has the rewind available, so it would have been a tough fight regardless. And yeah, this is tough. This is a tough team comp to play around for the Staff because we didn't even talk about the split push potential, especially with the build that virtually is gone. I mean, Chronos' split push potential is fine with any build, but with this one, it's something that you have to keep in mind consistently, especially going this new item that I'm sure you'll have to talk about, the Cyclopean Ring.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cyclopean Ring, it's a really, really fun item, I think, especially cooldown reduction. Something that's been really lacking from Mage ADC builds for a long time, and getting that passive reduced with extra auto attacks. I mean, it's really good all around. I think kind of like Ring of Hecate was the core item in the old seasons. Cyclopean Ring has to be in all of them. But speaking of Mage ADC, Soul is going for a really, really interesting build path. Only one kind of attack speed cliff so far.
Yeah, I find that surprising given the passive of Soul. Pyromancer down below, half Asian up into the sky. We'll see who he looks for, or if they're going to try to secure Pyro. They let Pyro go. It's healing quick. Looks for Dracul, but the ultimate's no good. Just kind of lands back down. And League's going to look to press this fight here. Chiron, though, sneaking around the side, reminiscent of virtually in the last fight. Cub taking a lot of damage, though. League destroys the Pyromancer in no time at all with virtually and Steve. That was insane. Knock up on the Stoops. Good wall, though, to create some separation, but the stun from Chronos hits, and LDG Fish cleans it up. Now, Asian's got to get out of there. Staff wisely retreating, having just lost Stoops, but this could turn into a fire giant for League.
Yeah, definitely good and good. I mean, Cub really the only one sitting around close. Nathan's there, but doesn't have the ult. Doesn't really do. I don't know if they can contest this. They're definitely going to die if they try to steal.
Cub getting low. Looks like Cub might get away, though, surprisingly, but League does secure the Fire Giant. They've got 2 Mage ADCs, after all. You can see the damage there. Tough break for Staff, but overall, I do like the call to just kind of peek around. I think Cub surviving there and everybody being alive for them to get this fire is not the worst thing that could have happened.
Definitely not, and they are going to have a lot of time to work with it. I mean, the Staff have been doing a pretty good job all game of keeping minion pressure consistent. Normally, we see one team kind of start to landslide with it and then start to lose, but they've been keeping pressure on in all the lanes. I mean, despite their towers being down, they could definitely be at a worse spot. We have another break in the action, so we can talk about, you guessed it, more new items. On both of the junglers, the Aussie and the Crusher are two items that, like you said earlier, passives aside, the stat sticks are incredible for those two junglers.
We also see the Archdruid Stone going the way of Kumbhakarna, which is another fascinating item, and the new Stone of Binding, which are both great items. Hercules did go Breastplate of Regrowth, as you talked about, so new items across the board. It's almost like these guys knew it was a showcase game.
I know, crazy how that works. Some people just born with intuition, I guess. As Soul finally is going to grab the Cyclopean Ring, so especially with that Nimble Bancroft's Talon, has a lot of power in that build from the Karen's Coin and the Typhon's Fang, so definitely gonna still be getting that attack speed.
League pulling Gold Fury here. Chiron's around, but it's not really worth it just for the Gold Fury. Perhaps if it was an Oni Fury, it'd be worth at least a look, but here it was not even worth considering. It's best to just kind of pull back, farm up, and defend. Thankfully for Staff, with the exception being Nathan, in terms of farm, they aren't that far behind compared to what they could be.
Definitely not, and I think the also lucky thing, since Nathan's the one behind, it's a Chang'e. They have CC immunity, they have a heal, they can definitely still be impactful. From behind, probably one of the best mids at doing so. Now Asian, I think in a little bit more trouble than he senses, gonna get up into the sky and get
Good
away.
ultimate, though.
Yeah, very well
That was
timed.
dangerous. I think we both were starting to get anxious there.
A little bit, and I think making the wise call not defending the tier 2, gonna have to put on a show at the Fenyx, so I think you highlighted they're all down a couple levels. If they take the Fenyx, it might just be game over and they can run all over. Ooh, it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah, their best bet, you gotta get rid of one of the mage ADCs and then focus the other. There's really no other way to look at it. Serket's gonna go in the back and do some damage to the backline regardless, but those mage ADCs just do numbers, and they are scary. And they're gonna kill this Fenyx in 2 seconds, so you gotta clean it up fast. Stoops, though, with the big freeze, followed up by the stun from Cub, virtually taking a lot of damage, has the rewind available, but there's the Fenrir ultimate. Ragnarok does not secure it, rewind gets off, Steve kills Cub, and virtually is back to full health, and Nathan finds himself in a bad spot. There's the stun on the Chiron. Freya is about to be taken out of the fight, but Valkyrie's discretion comes up. Nathan falls to steal, though, virtually under Fenyx, looking for Chiron. Steve has a double kill, picked up Stoops, and virtually cleans up Chiron, and that's going to be both Phoenixes, if not all three, after the mage ADCs go to work.
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna be the game making the smart call. They don't need the Fenyx. Aiden, oh, I love the attempt and good target on the virtually.
A
Oh my gosh, just the
respectful
compassion. The compassion got him.
It
There's
got
the
him.
block.
That's a kill. I'm going to call that a small victory, but the game victory will go to League after a hard-fought battle, but it's a double kill from the Titan with a little help from Asian at the end. So you can't say Staff did not go down fighting, but game one goes the way of League.
Yeah, and it is gonna. And I mean, they did a really good job pulling it back there in the mid game, but unfortunately, two mage ADCs and the Chang'e being a few levels down, just a little bit too much pressure to put up with. But I mean, that went pretty great for a show match. We saw a lot of new items, new strategies, got to look at the map a little bit, and a really complete, albeit a little bit fast, game of Smite.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, nobody played bad. Everybody definitely showed up and put in some work. And I think something that we can pick up from this game before we get into game number 2 is definitely that those mage ADCs are dangerous. I mean, even Chiron, who had a tough time getting going, was pressured out in most fights with Serket kind of hard diving with backup from Virtually and Steel. We did see him completely delete Steve early in the game. So mage ADCs are here to make a statement this season.
Yeah, they definitely are, and seeing the build discrepancies in all of them, I mean, none of them had even remotely similar builds, and kind of true all across the match. So this season, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how people prioritize, what gods they go. There's so much more you can do now with all the new items, all the new passives, that it's really going to be hard to keep track of.
It will indeed, but with that, why wait? Let's get into game number 2. We will be right back with our showcase set between the Staff and the League on the Smite Draft League. Hello, hope you didn't have to wait too long. Welcome to game 2. As you can see, we're getting right to picks after a restart. So we're gonna let all these picks come in. We'll give you a quick little overview, and then we'll get right into game number 2. So we've got a Lancelot. Sun Wukong is interesting. We don't see a traditional ADC on the side of the league, but we do see the Freya being run back from staff. Take me through what you see so far while we wait for the last pick to come in, Fish.
I mean, I think the one thing is there's a ton of differences across the board. Neither of these teams were remotely like what we saw in game number 1, especially looking over here at the Chaos team. I gotta assume that's going to be a Poseidon ADC for Steve, and if they kept their roles, that is a Loki mid for Virtually, which is going to be all kinds of fun to watch.
And that's a tough matchup for a Kukulkan. It does get locked in. That's a scary matchup. And it's going to be a tough fight. Plus, we all remember from Season 1, there's definitely rumors of Virtually's Loki. I actually remember it being banned out a few times in the tournament that Virtually participated in. So I expect that to be a tough piece. I am interested to see how the Sun Wukong performs. We did see that get banned out in game number 1, which is a pick that I haven't seen much myself from playing and watching streams so far, but I can see how it could be strong, and clearly staff didn't want to deal with it in the first game. So I think with all that rounded up, we'll talk about it more when we get in game, but we'll see you in game number 2. I would hate to be Nathan right now against a low-key mid, but he's going to have to deal regardless. Welcome to Game 2 of this SDL Season 2 showcase. I'm Anthony Malum. He's still KingFsher. Let's do it!
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly. Not only against a Loki mid, but with a Neja in the jungle. It's a lot of CC, and it's a lot of scary CC that Kukulkan doesn't really get out of. So definitely going to be having to play safe. Went with the Horn Shard over the Vision Shard, though. So maybe feeling confident, definitely going to have to invest in some wards, though, if he wants to keep his life.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup, and Nathan's got to play it basically perfect to be able to get away with the pick here. We do see some okay damage. Chiron did run back the Freya this game, so I expect to see a lot of damage from the Mage ADC. And important to note for later, I mean, granted, Poseidon ADC can be dangerous for objectives. League is lacking a traditional ADC, and they do have the structure damage. Just it could be an interesting matchup come late. Cub going around the back, though, on the Lancelot, gonna look for some damage. Dracul avoids most of it, though, with his Tarzan move. Fish picks up Nathan for the first blood, going the way of the League, and staff could not quite respond in the dual lane.
Yeah, and there's that CC we were scared about in the mid lane. LDG Fish and Virtually teaming up to get that kill early. But I think for the worries we've expressed for the Kukulkan, and kind of similarly the Freya to survive up against a Neja, a Loki, and a Poseidon, when it comes to late game, if they can get there, staff is going to be doing monumental more damage, I think, than the League team.
For sure. I mean, Poseidon and Neja basically cannot look Freya in the face come late game. They have to try to avoid it. Granted, they do have a Maui and a Sun Wukong for that matter, so Freya will have her hands full. So this is an interesting matchup, and I think a lot of it, like you said, comes down to mid lane.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be really situational, too. I think you highlighted the Maui. I think also it deserves to be in the spotlight, the Odin. This feels like support's kind of going to run this one, but both jungles over on the left-hand side now. We'll see what comes of it. Cub has got in there on Steve. Steve gets away, though, as they shift their focus to Cool. Fish behind, finds a stun. Good
sash onto Chiron. Has to use the Purification Beads early. Stoops, though, pretty tanky through it. Gets a stun on the Fish, and a lot of Freya damage comes out. Cub's going to look for the cleanup onto Fish. There's the Maui up down, though. Fish is 1 HP. One basic will do it. Stoops cleans it up with the dunk. Might fall in return, but the jukes are on point from the newest staff member in the game. And he's going to get away with his life, as will his team.
Yeah, good job there by the League. I was a little bit surprised that nobody died on the back end. It looks like both pushes there suffered from a little bit of chemistry, maybe a little bit split up in their targets. But at the end of the day, LGG Fish falls and make him pay for killing the Kukulkan in mid lane. Speaking of Kukulkan in trouble again, he virtually gets the kill, dropping low and gets him before he gets into the tower.
That's we talked about it. That is just an unfun matchup for Kukulkan. It's going to take a lot of pressure elsewhere because I think it's already too late to commit to try to get him out of there. Chiron does run into Dracul, who's doing a lot of damage quick, but has Stoops there. Stoops isn't the healthiest either. Really just want to secure this purple buff. Poseidon's going to get there late So they should have it. They do clean it up. Stoops picks it up by mistake, though.
Oh.
They turn on Dracul, and Poseidon's lurking with level 5. So is Neja. Cubs here with no ultimate. Sash going to lead into the ultimate, which will clean up Chiron. And on the landing, there's going to be a lot of damage left behind, but it's going the way of Dracul so far. Cub cleans up Dracul. Steve still lurking. There's the Sash. Looking under tower maybe is Fish, but Stoops is still alive. Has to play it safe, though. Steve still lurking. Still has Kraken, for that matter. But it looks like League will go the other way. A pretty decent defense there from Staff.
Yeah, and everybody in that fight going to be a victim of no mana. It's virtually dropped pretty low. Maybe Nathan able to get a little bit of damage off there. I think we were worried about the Vulcan, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. No CC in Noodle. For the Pool Noodle means that Virtually and Fish are going to be able to land some really, really big combos on him. And plus, he's on point with those beads. So luckily, he still has up. Maui, too, has an absolute ton of CC.
Yeah, I do think now that Stoops is rotated, things will get slightly easier for Nathan to stay alive, depending. Still could take a lot of damage, though. Speaking of a lot of damage, solo lane is a brawl right now. We talked about wanting to see what the Sung Wukong could add in with Bluestone being meta. Looks like a lot. Plus, he already has Contagion online, so the damage numbers are going to be crazy from Steel right now.
Yeah, definitely are going to be, is now Chiron. Anon Steve already up a level. And I know we've already talked about Mage ADC builds a lot last game, so I'll try not to go as far into it. But Poseidon, he builds differently than all the other ones, going into an Eye of the Jungle and now a Doom Orb as well. A lot more ability focus, so it's going to be interesting in that lane to see who has an upper hand. I mean, both magical, but have such different playstyles. Virtually looking behind, thought they were going to gank Nathan. But Stoops being there definitely going to dissuade the League players.
Yeah, Virtually is playing Loki lore accurate right now, which is always a tough thing to go against. Cub does have to use Joust to get out of there. Was looking dangerous for a second, but does get away. We do have a gank in mid, but Nathan is under tower with Stoops, but there's the ring bounce off of the Bastion, which is something we did not talk about in game number 1, which we will certainly get to. But the ring bounce off of them was smart, and one of my favorite things to do this season. That and a good Chain Lightning.
Yeah, definitely. And the Chain Lightning from the Divine Ruins, too, now, obviously being implemented into the game.
Ooh, impressive
Gives
segue.
mids- Oh, you know it, all over it. But yeah, it gives mids a lot more flexibility. I think, like you said, with the Bastions, especially in early game, we already talked game 1 about there being a little bit less farm, or seemingly less farm on the map this season. So those Bastions going to be really important for early game. I've still yet to prioritize them. I'm still adapting, but I guess that's why I'm not playing in the league. I'm only talking about it. So that way I don't have to.
Yeah, I think our Staff game definitely proved that, without a doubt. But we do see Staff kind of lurking, maybe considering a gank on Steve, but he's already back, so they might have to turn around. Cub does run into Neja. There's the Sash. Cub, though, has plenty of damage, but Virtually's here, too. So is Dracul, and Nathan cannot get there in time. Odin Cage goes down to lock everybody in and try to calm things out. Stoops taking a good bit of damage. Cub about half. There's the landfall. Pulls in Chiron. Goes right into that Valkyrie's discretion, and he should be safe from using it. Stoops is the one to worry about. Nathan considering the rotation, but still low. Steve cleans up Chiron. Must have cut him off with the Kraken, and Fish cleans up Stoops. 5-2 for the league.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was about to say Staff would all be dead if Steve was there with the Kraken, and he was there with the Kraken, but only onto the Freya. Gets a kill, though, goes up about a level and a half, and now Steel dropping low, and you know why? It's because Agent has his own Contagion. Now the damage is on both sides. And yeah, it's a really interesting. I mean, as much as we talked about the builds being really diverse, solo lane still feels really, really similar. All the warriors utilizing non-hybrid items so well in their different passives to get a really good balance of damage and weapons.
Asian making a show over in solo. Mally, though, stepping over. Has not been spotted out, but it's going to be a tough fight. Maui's only level 6, and Asian's got quite a bit of tankiness already being level 9 with that Contagion. Sash onto Nathan in the back. Ring bounce off the Bastion. Good to bring Nathan below half, but nothing more than that. Asian does go in and finds himself in between the Maui and Dracul, but he almost killed Steel in the fight. Now getting a good stun on Dracul. Fish cleans up Nathan in mid. Can they clean it up in solo and get the kill back? Cub does. 3-6 for Staff. Virtually quite low. Stoops has potential here to clean this up. Has to hit the dunk. There's the ult in from Virtually. The sash to follow. Is the combo going to be enough? Or is Stoops going to pick the fight? Virtually is going to die to a minion. And the dunk is dodged by the blink from Fish. And he'll get to live another day. Stoops almost with a gorgeous double kill. Does get the stun, though. So Fish is not quite safe yet, but impressive regardless.
Already a ton of action coming out of the mid lane. Stoops finding a great kill back. Surprised he waited so long to use the Odin Cage. I mean, normally I think he'd be using it to save Nathan just in this matchup, but he is able to get a kill with it. Now Dracul has ult. Stoops, I don't think this is as easy things.
There's the landfall, but he jumps it. It pulls in Nathan, though. But it could be tough for Dracul. He is taking a good bit of damage. Pulls in Nathan is taking more, but Stoops has to back. So there will be no cleaning up this kill on Dracul, but Stoops did get away.
Yeah, lucky he did also. I was a little bit surprised. Virtually tried to run instead of bursting down the Odin there. I mean, I guess was very low, so definitely excusable. But at the end of the day, results the same. And now Dracul trying to chase down Nathan. I don't know about that one. Virtually on his way, though. Doesn't have ult just yet. Might be another second on the initiation.
Nathan's run into Virtually. There's the Spirit of the 9 wins, but not quite enough. Virtually cleans up Nathan. Dracul jumps in on Stoops. He's very low, and Chiron's here, gonna clean up the kill. Valkyrie discretion a little early, trying to stay safe from the Kraken. Virtually picks up a double kill on a Cub. Stoops is now the only member from the initial fight left standing, and he's gonna have to retreat with Chiron. They cannot look to pick this fight. So a tough break for Staff, and what looked like what could have been a decent fight.
Yeah, really rough position for him, though. I do like the mental not to go out, to try and get a kill back. Definitely the right move, staying back in that one. I mean, it's essentially 2 junglers with that Loki at mid, and I think jungle is a really, really strong role this season. Virtually 300 HP. Still has a dream, though, able to get away. Oh. Is he going to be cut out for lazy back? I don't think he is. Kukulkan.
It's a tough chase.
Not rotating yet.
There's the invis. Nathan does not predict it correctly, and Virtually goes the other way. Now Nathan's caught between 3 members, and it's the worst 3 it could be, and Virtually is going to cling the kill onto Nathan. Cub is here, though, with Stoops, and we got Asian here as well, and they can call in, but the invis gets Virtually away. It's a pesky Loki, everyone's least favorite thing, and Virtually is going to get to back by the speed buff. Back in the fight, though, Fish is low. Cub cleans it up. Dracul low as well. Asian's going to go on the hunt for that. Steel had to go into ultimate, so he'll be full health. Dracul looking to get away. Does have our favorite LCs on the way, though, minus Nathan. It's a double kill for Cub. They clean up Dracul. Gonna look for Steel in the mid lane, but that's a tanky Wukong, so it's gonna be tough if they want to commit to it. They do catch the bull with the stun, but Virtually's back now, so best to probably just back away from this one.
Yeah, and that was a much better fight we saw that time from the Staff. They got a little bit scattered, all trying to find that Loki, ultimately pay for it as he picks one of them off and runs away. And now Kukulkan, very smart, building into physical defense. Oh,
nice ultimate, though! And Cub cleans it up! Beautiful ultimate from Nathan, trying to make a comeback. Big kill onto the Loki, getting him off the map for a little bit and bringing some calmness to the mid lane of the map overall.
Great reaction on the 9 wins, and luckily, even when the beads are down, Loki CC immunity does not protect him from damage, so Kukulkan can take half the health bar easy. Big Island from Maui, not gonna find anything though. Not sure why he ulted there, maybe just intimidation?
Yeah, that felt more like a mental landfall than, anything else, but it does, if nothing else, put some aggression onto Nathan, who does have the back, but he may have backed regardless, so... Like you said, interesting choice, the ultimate there. Cub and Stoops run into Fish and Dracul, and they're looking for the fight. There's the Odin Cage. Fish is stuck inside of it. Down to 1 HP. Cub cleans up the kill. Dracul should be plenty safe. But another kill for Staff, and much like the storyline of game number 1, we're about even in gold, and we're caught up in kills.
Yeah, already now, don't want to let it slide like last game where League started taking control again. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Staff looked a little bit more adapted. I mean, they've been now building defense and has temporal beats upgrade. Something we normally see. Look out for the Kraken. Might have walked in too early.
Kraken was early, and the Spirit of the Nine Winds was on time. Staff gets the Gold Fury. Stoops is low, though. It looks like Cub and Asian are going to look for a bit of a fight here. Virtually does find Stoops, though, and will clean it up, while Chiron and Nathan were looking at the Harpy. Unlucky timing with the Loki showing up. Looks like Cub should get away, and Asian's pretty tanky, so I have a hard time imagining they can pick up this kill. And with everybody around the corner, they will not. So Staff mostly gets away scot-free, and even if Chiron and Nathan hadn't pulled the Harpy, I think it would have been a tough escape for Stoops regardless after the Loki ultimate.
Yeah, definitely would have, especially since Loki still had beads, already one of the quickest gods on the map. Hasn't gone, I thought, would go into the Shadow Drinker. I mean, flat pen, a ton of power and movement speed, plus the invisibility with Loki kind of seems like a natural synergy. Oh, Nathan a little bit ahead with that Tornado. Still, though, Virtually's low. I don't know if he can afford to show up to this red buff. Stoops is bringing it to them.
Yeah, might have been a bit of a misplay. It did walk through the Tornado on the way back, though, so thankfully it worked out. But there's one of the downsides of being able to pull jungle buffs. You can only pull your own jungle buffs, but that was a tough situation. Cub with the blink and the combo and the cleanup. Cub cleans up Virtually. Some aggression there from the Godlike division, looking down upon the League. Oh, big landfall, though. Cub gets sashed, but the ultimate hits Nathan. Great target swap from Fish, but now he's caught in the ring with Cub and Stoops. And Cub's doing numbers, does have to take the joust out of there, though. So they won't clean anything else up, but the blink combo was gorgeous.
Yeah, 2 ults for 2 ults, so not much damage coming out at either side. Now, Stephen Chiron, this has been a suspiciously quiet lane. Freya really doesn't have a movement ability. Definitely thought Steve would be a lot more aggressive with the Kraken. Oh, really tripped me out there. And the Freya has no mana. This is definitely should be the go button for Poseidon.
Yeah, but it looks like Poseidon might let Chiron walk away, which definitely odd. I mean, if there's a time to fight a Freya, it's when Freya has no mana, because that combo is just not going to happen. But looks like he might look for the shield buff instead. Over to the solo lane, we do have a bit of a fight with Steel and the boys here, as the LCs look to gang up on the solo lane and the support with the help of the Odin, but they couldn't quite stop him. I thought they might have a little bit more for it, but with the Odin cage down, it was not quite there. So it looks like League is able to get away from that despite the tough positioning they were caught in.
Yeah, luckily though, they did force out the Sun Wukong ult, and we've seen Steel use that pretty early into most of the fight so far, so definitely could be a really good point of initiation for them coming up. But now, we look across the map, I think we talked game 1 about it being a lot later for objectives. Kind of the same thing in this game, with Gold Fury still down, be interested to see that neither of these teams really showing any interest in the Pyro. Still focused on the left, Chiron might be in trouble.
He gets ulted, does Purification Beast, doing a lot of damage though. Perfect response, and Cub cleans it up, but Chiron did the work. We all saw it. Nice response to the Loki with the perfectly timed beads. Now it looks like Snoops and Cub are going to look to aggress. Dracula's down to half health, but Steve is in the back at level 17 with a Kraken ready to go. So it's going to be tough there. Fish does get the sash on the Snoops. Cub, though, looking for aggression. Fish is caught inside the ring. Spirit of the Nine Winds hit. There's only about half, though, and Fish brings up into the air Chiron, and on the way down, he gets Kraken and landfalled. Somebody does not like the HR department. Cub, though, make it unstoppable. He cleans out the Neja, lands down onto Steve, doing tons of damage. Dracula's there, also low. Only level 10. Cub could do some serious damage here, but the Whirlpool cuts him off. He will meet them around the other side of the wall, though. Should be able to pick up the kill onto Steve, and he does, but he gets caught with the decoy and virtually shuts down the LC. Make it both of them, as Virtually is now killed Asian and Cub. Only main LC left standing is Nathan after he respawned, but they were caught in a bad spot under that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and a lot of big pros and cons there from both of the teams. Now that Kukulkan might be in trouble again, and Steve's going to get him pretty low. Virtually will go finish it up. Oh yeah, didn't have beads, didn't have the other either. No real chance there for the Kukulkan. And now, maybe we're finally going to see a Pyro and the Breastplate of Valor. I like the CDR on that. Definitely a smart pickup from the Kukulkan.
Yeah, it might be a little too late. I mean, it's going to help, certainly, but I'm almost scared about the lack of damage he'll have for a while, because I mean, he still hasn't finished his stacks on Book of Thoth, and he's got the breastplate. At least it gives them mana, but we'll have to see how that pays off late, because at a certain point, there's diminishing returns when a Loki is blowing you up.
Yeah, I think luckily, like you said though, the Kukulkan passive and the mana definitely going to help to offset that. Could see him go something like the Tablet of Destiny, which is going to give him even more damage on the mana, but I believe this is pre-patch, where it gets boosted to 7% of the max mana, so definitely expect to see that item later down the road, but right now, it's probably a little bit too big of a trade-off.
Yeah, absolutely. Seal might be caught out in blue. Cub goes with the up down. Does some okay damage. Still down to half. There's the ring to lock in Steel, who does not have his ultimate. Landfall only pulls up Stoomp. Steel, though, gets the bird away. Joust, though, cleans up the kill. Now Fire Giant aggro is pulled. We'll see if that matters. Ring bounce bounces off. The Fire Giant Cub blinks into a knock-up into his sash. And Fish, though, has to ult away. Not sure if that missed or is that a getaway. And it looks like the LCs are going to gang up on Dracul, but Nathan is stuck in a tough spot and virtually is here. There's the Spirit of the Nine Winds, though, and it hits 2 and does good damage, but not quite enough damage. Now Nathan goes back in and gets found by Loki. Still alive, though. Dracul hits a tornado, falling low enough for the kill. Nathan has his first kill on the Kukulkan. Nice cleanup from Staff, despite the awkward fight.
Yeah, low health bars everywhere, but at the end of the day, they do come out victorious from that one. Still down a few thousand. Oh, Asian getting aggressive.
Almost found it, but just not enough.
Yeah, solid damage coming out from somebody with exactly 1 damaging item, and that's Bluestone. Oh, I guess Gladiator passive as well. Yeah. Glad Shield passive still exists.
It was a gutsy play, and it could have worked. I think maybe if Fish was just slightly more in lane, it would have been perfect. But this could turn into a Primal Fury as Steve is walking away, but Speed Sidon's on the way and has Kraken. Gets cut off by Cub, though, so cannot find his way in. Asian's here, too. There's the Kraken. It finds both of them. A lot of damage coming out. Gotta play it safe, boys. And they do. They clean up the kill onto Steve despite all the damage.
Yeah, definitely smart by them not committing too much onto the Poseidon. Was really scared he was going to finish off both of them, but Asian and Cub knew what they were doing. Both low, but both alive at the end of the day. So a really, really good gank by them. Steve, I don't know, a little bit late to stepping up. If he was earlier, definitely could have made landfall with the Kraken. Now Chiron, great Aegis. Great
Aegis, good beads, great Valkyrie's discretion. Gonna be able to use all that to stay alive, but they're still fighting for it. There's the shell. And Chiron, in the 1v3, manages to pull a kill out of his hat. Impressive from the Staff ADC. Definitely, and hangs on to the beads as well. Great discipline in the end there, not using them on the Summoning Calm stun. Who, regardless, probably was gonna be dead, so holds on to it for another fight. Now Pyro picked up by the Staff. And on the left side, they can't afford to go for another tier 2. Their ADC just respawned. So all things pointing towards Staff at the moment. But without their own ADC, they can't afford to do anything else right now. It's going to be no split pushing, no Fire Giant either. Yeah, I think we're kind of at a point where this game could go either way. I mean, it's shockingly even considering everything that's happened. I think the biggest thing that Staff needs to kind of pull together right now is probably they got to get Nathan some farm and get the Kukulkan online if they want to start dishing out damage, because they just have no answer currently for the amount of damage. I mean, Cub is doing insane damage, but Chiron hasn't quite rotated to every fight yet, and Kukulkan's damage hasn't been there. So really, Cub and Asia have been anchoring these fights, and they're going to need some help to pull this one out. Yeah, and I think luckily for the Kukulkan, only a level behind, which all things considered I think is great. I'd also like to see it's a little bit of a tough situation. Odin, not exactly the most peel-heavy god in the world. Now Cub gonna get caught out, has to use beads, uses the ult as well. Looking for Fish, not gonna be able to catch up though. Virtually dealing. Wow, 538 there with the backstab passive, and Stoomps is gonna fall too. Spirit of the Nine Winds, nobody home. And now they're going to hunt down Nathan, but he should be able to get away. There's the blink, though. Now it's going to be tough. Tornado follows. A lot of damage coming through. Sash does not completely hit. Must have been a temporal beads there, but not quite enough to stay alive. Fish picks up the kill onto Nathan. And that looked like a good fight for Staff to pick at first, but it went pretty disastrous pretty quickly.
Yeah, overstepped a little bit too far right into Loki's domain as virtually got that kill, set the whole plane to Fire Giant. That's rough for Staff. The Pyro Bomb that was pretty decent for trying to steal is going to be on a member.
Flank formation does not steal it in time. League secures the Fire Giant. Asian should fall alongside it, but not before he does insane damage. Almost took out virtually.
Yeah, got really close and forced out the shell from Dracul, so they're going to have no way of getting out of that Odin cage except for just trying to auto-attack the wall. Good move there from Asian at the end of his life to still find some really solid value. So now League grouping up on the right-hand side with Poseidon. No one else drawing Staff away. Saldo.
Great ultimate there from Stoops, setting up for Cub to clean the kill onto virtually. Tier 2 getting picked up, though, from the League. They're going to get it pretty easily. Poseidon's damage wasn't crazy on the structure. Maybe worth keeping in mind later, but at the same time, there'll be plenty to go around, especially once Loki and Neja are involved. Sash, ultimate into the sky, and the Windfire wheels are enough to kill Nathan. On the land down, it was Steve with the Whirlpool. Kraken comes out late, knocks up Stoops. Cubs falls to Dracul. Staff's got to play this careful. League might run it down after this with shades of game number 1. Chiron looking to find a target, but Steel was in the way and peeled him perfectly. And now Stoops falls to Steve, who almost died to tower. Asian looking to clean up the Poseidon. Needs one hit. There's the Aegis. Can't quite find it yet. Gets stunned out. Asian's still looking for it. And Steve is just too fast. Valkyrie's discretion can't get it anywhere near with the speed side and zooming away. Barry Allen is safe underneath his tier 1 tower. And now Chiron and Asian are in the 2v2 of their lives against the Maui in the Sung Wukong. They gotta look to turn around. They're both a bit too low. And the Assassin brothers are on the way.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to find too much follow-up. Staff should be able to get back into base, get healed up by the time they arrive. Uh-oh.
Get out of there, Nathan! If you can hear me, get out of there! There's the ultimate from Virtually. Aegis comes out. Will not be enough. Virtually cleans up Nathan. League gets the Pyromancer, and looks like we on the staff are on our back foot.
Oh.
Cub does not quite find Virtually. It was very close, but does not quite link up. There's the Joust, though. Blink from Virtually to follow. Invis should be up. There it is. And Virtually, once again, escapes.
Virtually, I hope you're very proud of yourself. Definitely got the juke shoes on this match. And Loki, I mean, just doing absolutely everything right now. Kind of with impunity. It's really hard to shut him down. Chiron gets shut down, though. Cub gonna follow. 2 fall for Staff. This could turn bad very fast. It's 5 on 2. Colin gonna follow up as well.
Landfall brought Asian in, taking a lot of damage. Dooms with a good Olden ult, though, should be enough to get Asian away. They're going to need everybody they can to defend here. It's looking tough. Nathan pushes up. This could be dangerous. Looking for any damage. Might have been trying to get to Virtually, but Steve's around the back. Spirit of the 9 Winds does nothing more than cleans up the minions. Maui drops down. Dracul cleans up Nathan. And League are going to look for the Fenyx with everybody standing and Virtually marching down mid.
Luckily, they might have to wait for Virtually, so Staff have a minute. In on Steve, I think he highlighted earlier, on that tier 2 tower, not doing as much structure damage as we really expected. Could be tough for them to push in, but push in they finally are going to do. Target's not Fenyx, it Stoops.
Sash followed by a Frenzy. Asian goes in, is taking a lot of damage. Chiron's here, looking for some good numbers. Virtually gets in. Chiron, into Valkyrie's discretion, dies to the bleed before he could get the damage off onto LGG Fish. Only Dracul was fallen for League. Virtually's got a double kill. 2 members left for Staff, and Nathan's just now coming up. It's going to be a throne room defense. Boy, am I familiar with that if you saw the other set. League looks to go on the back foot now, going to bide their time. Surprised they didn't push for an end there.
Yeah, me too. It might have been a little bit of a smart move. I mean, Virtually and LGG Fish do have to get into melee range to damage that Titan, so it's going to be really risky for him. Falling back, I'd assume they're going for the Fire Giant here. Maybe not, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested what League's setting up here for. Maybe they're going to try to buy time and pull an EFG and just run it down and end with that. I mean, they've got 2 minutes to kill. and everybody did back, so there's potential there.
There definitely is. It almost might be the smart play. I don't know if they need EFG. They've been pretty proficient in kind of just getting the teamfight kills, but at the same time, if they do wait around for EFG, the staff is going to have to show up for that. They could be using it more as a bait than a real target, but the target looks like it's Asian, getting whittled down here, half HP, doing all that without crits, LDP Fish.
Oh, and the pickup is real. Asian almost was able to fight off both of them and get one kill, but he falls down to LGG Fish, and Stoops still holding the spear, which is what I was laughing at before, and it misses! He held it across the map and did not get the spear hit virtually, and Fish clean up the support, and that might be it. Looks like League's turning their attention to the throne room. Maybe EFG was the plan until the picks. Lincoln from Fish, Sash no good. Chiron, though, in a bad spot regardless. Valkyrie's discretion to the side. We see Cub get soloed by Anon Steve. Nathan soon to follow with virtually going on a rampage. Fenyx gonna fall down to the Freya defense. I mean, if I had to pick a character, it'd be Freya or Kronos, but this is a tough task regardless. League looks like they're gonna pile into the throne room. They've got a fire wave with them. Sash no good, but the Aegis anyway. Whirlpool and the Fountain. They're going to look for the kill onto the Titan. There's the landfall. Chiron avoided it. Frenzy comes out. He's stunned, and a Fountain brought up into the sky. You can't heal in the sky. He comes down and dies. Asian's here, though. A lot of damage. Titan down to half. Asian doing what he can. Steel pushes him away. Titan's still alive. Quarter health. Stoops goes for the dunk. Doesn't find anyone home, though. Virtually on the Titan. Asian shuts him down. Fish has a double kill, though, and they could not withstand the power of the League. They clean it up, and staff loses 0-2, but you cannot say we didn't try our little hearts out.
I was really surprised on how long that Titan burn took. I thought it was going to be much faster from the League, but they do get it done pretty flawlessly as well, only dropping one. And essentially, just kind of a staggered 5v3 there. Really, really good job by them. They kind of took control of that game, seemingly kind of like the first one. Kind of stalled out in the middle, but late game, the comp just a little bit too much to handle, got on a roll, and could not be stopped.
Yeah, I think we really pointed it out from the start. It was a tough matchup for Nathan, and 1-11 is a tough stat line, but when you take in the context of the kind of pressure he was under the entire game, honestly, the fact he got a kill and the fact his damage exceeded 10k is a victory in and of itself. It was a tough matchup for that Kukulkan, and there was not really a world where it was going to work out given the team comp that the League went.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very high pressure, high aggression comp, and unfortunately, staff just not able to adapt quick enough. Had a lot of really good late game carries there, but unable to tie it all together. We've been talking a little bit how much more later game focused it seems this season. Can't be late game focused if it does not get there, though. And the League players do a really good job in the showcase and take home, I think, technically the first win of the season.
It was indeed, and what a time for it to come in our showcase. But if you're wondering what we're showcasing aside from the new stuff, it's the fact that Season 2 is almost here. Scouting Grounds is mere days away, starting on February 10th. So make sure you get in here to see that. We're going to have tons to talk about. New players, new teams, new league, new casters, new everything for season number 2. So if you want to watch, get into the Discord and get ready for those games. We will see you soon with Scouting Grounds. I have been Anthony Malum. I had KingFsher with me. We had iNooblet running the cameras, and we'll see you soon for the start of season number 2.